So welcome to our Becoming a Music Major Q&A. I hope that you are having a fantastic Orchestra Day experience thus far. So just to do a little bit of an introduction, this is a panel presentation slash Q&A session for anybody, for students and parents on becoming a music major. So my name is Dr. Donna Hewitt. I'm an assistant professor of music education at the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. So, and I'll just go throughout just as I'm looking at the panelists that are going to be participating. So Edson, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Edson Melendez. I'm the recruitment coordinator for the College of Arts and Humanities at UW-Parkside, and I've been through the college process way too many times.
But you love it each time, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
Totally. All right, Abby, I'm going to go over to you next.
Sure. My name is Abby Lewis. I'm a senior in the choral music education department at Parkside. And yeah, I'll be finishing up with student teaching in the fall.
Woo, so exciting.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then Max, I'll head on over to you.
Well, awesome. I am Mr. Max Filer, the Director of Instrumental Music at Case High School. I graduated Parkside in 2018 with a music major.
Yay. Same as, so we also have our other alum here with us too. We have Jacob Myers is an alum and Mark Jensen is an alum as well. So sharing lots of love for the alum that are with us. Yahoo! So this is a Q&A session. We're going to just kind of do a little bit of an overview. So if at any point you have any questions, you're welcome to either put questions in the chat. You're welcome to either do one of the little reactions down below, which is always fun. You could do the little raise a hand thing. Yep, just like Mr. Filer did right there. Thank you for demonstrating that. You know, and I always appreciate other reactions as well. So, oh, this is only yes or no. That's sad. Usually I like the party one or whatever. So just, mix it up a little bit. So I want to talk to you a little bit about, the programs that we have at Parkside. So if you are interested in being a music major, we offer a Bachelor of Arts in Music. And from there, you have different tracks that you can choose from. So there is a performance track, which from there, you can specify music performance, you can do jazz performance, and there's also CCM, which stands for Contemporary Commercial Music. So that is an option. Um, we also have music education, which is my area of expertise. Abby Lewis is a music education major. And so if you are interested in teaching, that would be a track that you would want to pursue. And then also we have a liberal arts concentration that you can focus on if performance or education does not seem to be the best fit for you. So that's a little bit of the overview. And another thing that I'll bring your attention to in the chat, I have a Word doc that has all of our contact information and 2 links to help you out to get you started. So if you're interested in looking at that, you're welcome to open that up and download that onto your own laptop. So I'll hand it on over to Edson at this point if he wants to talk a little bit more. He's our recruitment outreach coordinator. So Edson, you want to chat a little bit about your perspective on this?
Sure. There's a lot of things to consider besides the music tracks, but I'm going to focus on what the actual process is. And one of the confusions is that in most other majors, you apply for the university and say, I want to be in, a psychology major. And they say, okay. And with music with music and the arts in general, there's usually another step, which is an audition process. So you'll have to apply not only for the university, but then apply for the music department or the art department or whatever that is. And that usually consists of an audition or a presentation of like a portfolio or something of that nature. But where that is really kind of cool is that the university has scholarships and then the departments usually have their own scholarships. So there's a little extra money that can be given there. And then at our school, we have the College of Arts and Humanities, which has yet another level of scholarships. So you're looking at university scholarships, College of Arts and Humanities scholarships, and then departmental scholarships within that. If you're lucky enough to get all three of them, you're basically paying for a year to 2 years of your school. And they're not that hard to get. A lot of it is just applying and having a nice conversation with people. And there's good opportunity to pay for a good chunk of your schooling. Most universities have something like that, so it's good to be aware of. And it's also good to ask questions about that. Saying, hey, I applied for the university scholarships. Is there any departmental things? And then they can fill you in on that information. So asking more questions is always better, and just remembering that it's usually a two-step process for music programs.
Thank you so much for that, Edson. All right, so moving on, Abby, do you want to share a little bit more about your perspective with regards to this panel? I left it fairly open with how you would like to provide information on what might be useful for either a high school student or a parent that would be interested in their student or their child pursuing music education or music
Sure.
in general, broadly.
Sure. I think the biggest thing that was the most important to me when I started in the program was sustainability. Can I get a job? And I think that sometimes going into an arts major can be kind of scary if you're not totally sure if you have that job security when you graduate. And I think something that Parkside, especially the music education program and performance, has been so successful in is placement rates after graduation. And actually, Mr. Myers, Mr. Filer, and Mr. Jensen are all great examples of that, as they all got positions very, very quickly after graduating Parkside. And I think that the biggest thing that's been the most important to me in being a music education major is the connections that I've made in the real world situations, pardon me, in our Racine Unified and Kenosha Unified. And I just finished a placement with the Milwaukee Public Schools. And I've met, amazing teachers that are wonderful connections for me once I graduate here. So I think that as far as being set up for success when you graduate with a music degree from Parkside, I'm very grateful for those connections. So it's been a very wonderful experience.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Abby. That's a really valuable perspective.
Sure.
We want to have jobs, right? We want to have we want to make sure that we're actually going to be employed when we graduate, right? That's important. And I see Edson put in the chat 2 people graduating in May that already have placements for the fall. Yes, definitely. Thank you for sharing that, Edson. So I'll move on over to Mr. Max Filer, one of our alum. So Max, would you like to share with us a little bit of your perspective on regarding this panel?
Absolutely. Okay. So, yes, I graduated high school in 2012. And when I went to UW-Parkside, actually, I'll start even before that. I went on a tour of UW-Parkside, and a very dear friend of mine, the violist, had met me on this tour. And it was almost kind of scary because she's like, we're going to just be best of friends. And it's so great. And that's just kind of the vibe at Parkside, is that everybody knows each other and you try to have a really fantastic time together because it's such a tight-knit community and everybody's there to try and figure something out and to figure out where they're going with their music, whether you're a major or a minor or you're just in the ensembles. Something really exciting. I was there for 6 years. And some of you might be thinking, but Mr. Filer, you only are supposed to be in college for 4, like maybe 5. Like, why are you there for 6 years? I started as a violin performance major, and then I decided to take one education class just to kind of put my feet in the water a little bit, and it turned out to be a cannonball, and I went right into it, and it was just a great experience. And then throughout just taking extra classes as well, I went up for that jazz concentration as well, jazz studies. So and as a violinist, that was something that was definitely not a normal, like you wouldn't expect a violinist to have that kind of a situation. So Parkside allows for this really fantastic ability to keep furthering your knowledge and allowing you to become the strongest musician you can possibly be, and making connections with people that maybe you didn't expect. Maybe you didn't even know that you were like an extrovert. Maybe you went into Parkside and just through that tight-knit community, you become a very a social butterfly, I guess is a way to say it. But it's just a fantastic experience at UW-Parkside, and I would never ever trade that experience for anything else.
Well, thank you so much. I'll pay you later. No, I'm glad that we're able to provide that experience. And we do have a really strong community, really strong sense of community. It feels like if you recall the sitcom Cheers, where everybody knows your name, kind of one of those. Yes, right? I know. I was afraid to make that analogy because I was like, okay, am I dating myself? But hey, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I don't even work, I'm not instructional staff. I work at the administrative side. So I work out of the dean's office, and I know a ton of the students. And, when I'm walking through the halls, it's, hey, Abby, hey, Jacob. And it is like a big family. I mean, it helps that I was a music major myself, not at Parkside, but, but yeah, it is a really big family. The students are really supportive. You don't see cattiness and fighting, and everybody's just there to support one another and to help one another be the best that they can be.
most definitely. So I'd like to open up the floor a little bit. If anybody has any questions, you specific questions for us, either of our panelists, um, about anything regarding the audition process, or being a music major, or being on the other side, employed as a music educator, or I'd invite you, you can either unmute yourself, you can put it in the chat. So I'll leave a little bit of space to see if anybody has any questions. And if you don't, we'll just riff for a bit. We're good at that.
Well, on
Ah, I see Christina has a question. What type of extracurriculars would you suggest for our student musicians? It's a good question. Um, type of extracurriculars would you suggest for our student musicians? So I feel like I would need a little bit more specificity. So I'm thinking maybe for a student that's in high school, what extracurriculars would you recommend them to participate in right now? Okay. Does anybody have an immediate response for that? Because I'm still chewing on that a little bit. Take it away, Max.
All right. What's up, everybody? Okay, so something that I found to be one of the most fantastic things, and this isn't just for maybe even being like getting into a college, but just as a student musician experience. Racine Unified offers a summer musical, and as far as I'm aware, at least Park, Horlick, and Case have musicals going on. I do not know about Walden and Real School. Still learning everything about the district. But what happens is that these musicals and the summer musical have live pit orchestras, and the students are the musicians in those orchestras. I did every musical when I was a student. We did my freshman year, Sound of Music. Then we did Meet Me in St. Louis. Then we did The Princess and the Pea, and then we did Phantom of the Opera. And then as we kept going through all the summer musicals, I don't even remember all the ones that I did, but every summer since I graduated, I would do those. And if I had known that I could do those when I was a student, I would have signed up immediately. We've done Phantom of the Opera again, West Side Story. Horlick did Bye Bye Birdie. We did Les Mis, Into the Woods, Shrek the Musical. I've done twice. I think that's enough. It was fantastic. But the pit orchestra experience, you get to play with your teachers. You get to then perform with everybody who wants to be there in the district, and people that are hired in, and you get to start making those connections. Now, so if you are super into music and you really want to make that difference, I would highly recommend joining the musical experience. And that way, it's not only just a resume booster, but it's again, going back to the social butterfly thing I said earlier, you're talking with people, and you're just really pushing the boundary on what you can do on your instrument.
Can I say,
also,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I would say also participating in any camps and stuff that are available. So we have like the honors band camp at Parkside. So any extracurricular, orchestra band that you can get into. A lot of the local symphonies will let you audition, and that's amazing experience because you're playing with professional level people. You may not sit for chair, or you might, but you get a lot of experience, a lot of repertoire experience with them, and you get to learn what it's like to be a professional musician. And those are generally open to anybody. So talk to your teachers about that. I know at Tremper they have the golden strings. That was a lot of fun. I was in that when I was in high school. You get to tour a little bit, not this year so much, but you can tour around the state and play things. For vocalists, there's always things like Kids from Wisconsin. And there's just a wealth of things that if you look into it a little bit, you can find that. And if you have questions, you can always contact us at the university and we'll help you find those opportunities as well.
I think one of the things that I would like to add to that is, don't be afraid once you get to the collegiate level to still engage in those things. Like Mr. Filer was saying, I've had the opportunity to play a few musicals in the last few years. And not only has that been amazing for my musicianship, but I made awesome connections and I met really, really cool people that I'll be able to reference later on. But also, if you play an instrument that is an accompaniment instrument, for instance, I played piano, I've made some of the best connections by just kind of getting out in the community and accompanying for solo and ensemble and different, musicals and productions and concerts. And that's been kind of the best thing. Or, don't also, Edson was saying it does help you pay your way through. But I also started teaching private lessons as a freshman. And that was awesome because I've made great connections with, the families in the community in RUSD and in KUSD. And I can kind of get the inside scoop on what's going on. So it's been great. So I would say don't shy away from that if that's something you're comfortable with.
All right, thank you so much for sharing all of those perspectives. I think that's all a lot of really great ideas. So are there any other questions that anybody might have for us? Any perspectives that we can provide for you?
I know a lot of people right now who are musicians are also athletes. And at Parkside, they have a whole intramural league for basically every sport, and that's open to everybody. We're also the only D2 school in the state. So if you are more of a competitive athlete and want to play volleyball, baseball, soccer, we don't have a football team yet. But those are all open. Those are all open to all students to try out. So if you're more a competitive athlete and you want to compete as well as do a music major, Parkside will offer you that opportunity. And it's cool that we're the only D2 school. Whitewater wins football games all the time, but they're like a D3 school, so it doesn't count as much. No, I'm just kidding. It's a great school.
Not like you're competitive or anything, right?
No,
not in the least.
Whitewater also doesn't have a Starbucks in their school.
That's true. Or a Jimmy John's.
Right.
All right, so we're kind of closing. We're close to our time, so I just wanted to make sure everyone is aware of that. If you have any remaining burning questions for us, and we also have, as I said before, the contact information for all of us on this panel is in the Word document that you can see at the top of your chat. And you are welcome to reach out to any of us if you have any questions. Okay. All right. Well, have fun. Thank you so much for joining us on this panel, Edson. And seeing as it's 11:50, I'm going to say thank you to everybody for joining us on this panel. And thank you for attending, those of you who are with us. It was nice having you in the room with us. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your orchestra day and have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Professor Hewitt, would you be able to post that link one more time for anybody that joined the chat late?
Just what does it say?
Max, I got you beat. I was there 7 years.
Oh
yeah, you're right.
All right.
I was the speed runner. I was 5 years.
Yeah, I feel like I'm shorting myself at 4.5. Jeez.
No.
No.
All right. Does that show up okay on your end in the chat?
Yes, it does.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Thank you, Jacob and Randy, for facilitating this. Thank you, Christina, for having us. I don't, Christina, you still here? Nope, I
I
don't
think
see
she
her.
left.
She
She
left.
is jumping between streams because we're about to do our Sister Strings viewing party.
Oh, nice.
Yep,
Is
get the
everything going
popcorn,
well today,
everyone.
Jacob?
Yes, everything is good. We're all good here. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. All right, everybody. Well, thank you once again. It was good seeing all of you, and
You too.
I'll connect with you
See ya.
guys again in the future. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hope
Thank you,
so.
Professor.
Sorry.
Right.
Abby's like,
Like, see you Monday.
Monday. I know, right? I know. Good luck with your praxis, Abby.
Thank you. I appreciate
You'll
it.
kill it.
I
Hope
know.
so.
You'll be fine. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.